Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. Pause a second. Let me get my popcorn ready for this. Let me get my popcorn ready for this. Let me settle in here because there's gonna be we're covering some news today. I got my popcorn here. To cover the battle of the ages between Bob Arum and Al Haymon.
Yeah.
And this requires popcorn and a lot of it. But it's your boy BT. We're live here on YouTube.
Yeah.
I got my pops here. We're here to talk about the whole Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence situation. We got Bob Arum losing his damn mind.
Right.
We got Al Haymon being Al Haymon.
Yeah.
Not saying anything, but
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah. What's up?
1 second. Just say hi to everybody, yo. Say hi.
Hi to everybody. Welcome to this live. It's a very good discussion that we're going to talk about, and we want your feedback on it because you guys are just as important to TSS as we are to you.
Okay, now for the 80 that are here, if you're funneling in right now, make sure you hit that like button because we're gonna get into Al for basically this whole Bob Arum thing. Cause Bob Arum, he's losing his damn mind. I got an article in front of me here on Boxing Scene titled "Al Haymon Will Tell Errol Spence Don't Listen to White Guys." So he's pulling the race card. He's basically saying that Al Haymon will not allow Errol Spence to fight Terrence Crawford because he didn't tell him that us brothers gotta stick together. That's what he's saying. But I'm gonna read you the exact quote so you know exactly what he said. Bob Arum. He said, I quote, "No, because you can hear what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, Spence, listen to me. Don't listen to the white guys because if you listen to the white guys, they're gonna steer you down the road. Listen to me, brother. We're part of a brotherhood. And if I tell you not to fight Crawford, I'm telling you not to fight Crawford." That's exactly what he will say. He then went on by saying that Al Haymon is a cancer to the sport of boxing. He is watering it down. He said that he doesn't care about developing fighters. He doesn't care about developing fighters, and then he cites guys like guys he's developing right now, like Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevens, and guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to call PBC, the company, the whole company, what he's invested so much time into, a massive scam.
Wow.
And pretty much that he got $500 million from Waddell and Reed and messed it up, and it's a big scam. So honestly, I'll say this, and they have a bad history, Al Haymon and Bob Arum. Bob Arum sued Al Haymon in 2015 because basically he said that it was an antitrust lawsuit, suing for $100 million in damages, and pretty much he also accused Al Haymon of being in direct violation of the Muhammad Ali Act. So these guys have a bad history, and honestly, look, for the 13 that are in here right now, I'm just gonna say it like this: I have my doubts about Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, but you might as well today, after today, you might as well just get the hammer, and you might start nailing that fight into the coffin because it's not gonna happen today, and we're gonna get into why I believe those things. But what are your initial thoughts on this whole situation, Pops?
Well, anytime money's involved in the past and the present, a lawsuit or whatever the case may be, there's always one side that wins and one side that loses, and always has some type of animosity towards the other group that won the case.
Mm-hmm.
But today, we're gonna do what Terrell Owens does and did. Let's get that popcorn ready and let's talk about what you guys think and what I think. I honestly think that I don't think it's why does boxing always gotta make everything be a black and white issue? We all bleed red. At the end of the day, it's all about money. So I personally totally disagree with what Bob Arum is saying, and I'm also not on Al Haymon's side. I think at the end of the day, with all this politics and everything, the one that loses the most is the fans.
1,000%. Now look, Al Haymon comes from a business background. He's from Harvard. Very. Everybody talked to about the guy says he's a crackling bright man. And he's smart. And he's intelligent. And he made his claim known, his name known in the music industry, promoting all these big tours. So the guy's not an idiot. He's very much about his business. And when you discredit his business, I don't know what he's thinking because he never talks or does interviews. But I would have to believe that really gets his ego going, and it makes him not want to put on a Crawford fight with Spence even more because now he's feeling to himself, damn. Well, Bob Arum saying all that stuff. I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm gonna say like this. How much respect do you have a promoter that never comes out and show his face to the audience, so to speak, to the boxing world, and he's always behind closed doors? To me, it kind of raises some type of question mark.
You know what they'll say, and Eddie Hearn told me this too when I first met him in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a promoter.
Oh, you're right.
He's an advisor.
Ugh.
So why would an advisor have to show his face to the camera? He uses like I was telling you, he uses a bunch of other promoters to do the talking for him. DeBella, Ellerby, Sam Watson. Those are like Al Heyman's mouthpieces, and Al Heyman can just sit back and do whatever it is he needs to do. You know. Mm-hmm. But as far as Crawford versus Spence, you know, there's so many factors that are holding this fight from happening. You know, first of all, you have from the boxing standpoint, you have the fact that Crawford is a big ass welterweight. He walks around at 170 plus. Okay, he has to cut what is that, almost 25 pounds plus, 20 something pounds plus, just to get to the 147 pound limit, and your body can only do it for so long. You know, so we don't know how he's able to do that. So you have that. Then you have the fact that you know, the promoters, you know, they're obviously on different sides of the street, so to speak. Crawford doesn't have a lot of opponents to fight, so he in a way, as much as I hate to say this, he needs Spence more than Spence needs him. Spence has options. Spence can literally go, he's gonna fight Porter on pay-per-view on an indication fight. Then after that, he can go fight Manny Pacquiao. Then he can fight Danny Garcia. Then he can fight Keith Thurman, and they can all keep it in house, and nothing will happen. But with Crawford, it's like, who the hell is he gonna fight next? Kyle Lewis, Shea Robinson? Right. You know, he just fought Amir Khan, and they paid him $5 million. Why do they pay Amir Khan $5 million? Because they don't have nobody to fight. And then now you got Kell Brook going over there, campaigning for a fight. Don't be surprised if Kell Brook is the next guy to fight Terence Crawford.
Right. So in your opinion, who is more important to the boxer, the manager or the promoter?
They're all important, but I would say the promoter is more important because fighters, and it's been shown many times throughout the course of history, that you can be a fighter, and if you have the intelligence and you have the acumen and you've done your homework, you can manage your own career. Because what is being a manager? All a manager is saying yes or no. Literally, if you're my fighter, and Eddie Hearn comes to me and says, Brendan, we have a fight for the British Commonwealth title versus such and such, you know, do you want to take the fight? As a manager, my only obligation and my only job is to say yes or no.
Wow.
That's it. And I get 15% for it. Ain't that some shit?
That's some crazy shit.
Now, there are good managers. There are some managers in boxing who do go above and beyond what their job titles are. You got guys like Sam Jones, who you may not know about, but Sam Jones manages like a number of guys in the UK, like Joe Joyce and guys like that. And sometimes you get managers like that. You get managers like that who will actually go out of their way to help you in the gym. Maybe sometimes, you know, to work side by side with the promoter and help you out. But you know, it's very few and far between. So you have guys like Sam Jones, maybe a Cameron Duncan who's well renowned for being a pretty solid manager in the boxing business. But you know, you can
Okay.
You can be a boxer. Like Roy Jones was his own manager for a long period of time. Bernard Hopkins was his own manager for a long period of time. So yeah, I would say definitely the promoter. Like my man Lord, the high executioner, said, the promoter stages the fights. They're more important. Exactly. So the promoters are the ones that deal with the networks. The promoters are the ones that are gonna have to get you on DAZN or Sky Sports or ESPN. So it's important to have a good promoter behind you, because if you don't have a good promoter, then you're not gonna have a lot of exposure as a fighter, because the promoter will ultimately determine how much exposure you're getting on network television or closed circuit television or pay-per-view, whatever the case may be. So,
my other question to you is, and this is one guy that's been on both sides of the roads, Manny Pacquiao. Why would he leave Bob Arum and go to Haymon?
The reason he would go, for one, he didn't just, Manny Pacquiao didn't just leave and go from Bob Arum to Al Haymon. It was in stages. So first of all, they have a long history together. You know, there are reports, it's out there that, you know, Arum, from what I've read, Arum and Pacquiao's I think it was his manager, Michael Kahn, who I interviewed.
Okay.
They took some money from him, and he owed he owes people he owes people in the Philippines some money, taxes. So there was issues over that from what I've heard, and then also Bob Arum tried to stick him on the undercard with Terrence Crawford to fight Mike Alvarado, and he took that as disrespectful, and I would too, because I'm Manny Pacquiao. You know, look at all the great things I've done in my career. Well, I'm not gonna fight on Terrence Crawford undercard. You got me messed up. So that didn't happen. You know, he left Arum. He staged his own fight pretty much in Malaysia under the Pacquiao Promotions ban. They still got ESPN to go out there. It was still a fight that people covered.
Right.
And then he said to himself, okay, if I want the biggest fights, ultimately the guy who has the majority of the lion's share of the big names in the division is Al Haymon. So he signed with him, and that's where he's at.
How many fighters does Al Haymon have signed to him, considering to other promoters? Like,
how many fighters did he have? Like in total?
Is it like the top dog?
He's got about a good couple hundred fighters.
So he's got a lot to choose from.
I mean, a lot. I mean, but really, there's only about, I would say,
legitimate
10 to 15, maybe 20 that he really cares about. The other, however many hundred, they're just there.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think Bob Arum was wrong when he came out and made it a black and white thing. I'm tired of boxing always making something about a black and white thing.
Well, to be fair, on YouTube, okay, and the 30 of you who are watching this, make sure y'all go subscribe, hit like, do all that good stuff. Super chat away if you want.
Yep.
But the 30 people that are in here that watch YouTube boxing channels, particularly the ones in the LDBC, the ones that claim to know, because there's one channel, I'm not going to say his name, I'm not going to give him clout on my channel, but
gotcha.
There's one channel in particular that claims to know Al Haymon and be close to Al Haymon. And you know what? I believe him, actually. I believe him. Okay. And he says that Al Haymon himself is on this whole pro-black thing and whatnot. So it's not like it's something that we hear in boxing circles, but we don't know Al Haymon. We don't hear him talk, so we don't know if it's true.
So are you saying that he's pro-Black Panther, Al Haymon?
I'm not saying he's not.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's not.
I just don't think that.
But what does it matter? Look, I'm a boxing fan. You're a boxing fan. The 31 in here are boxing fans. We just want to see Crawford versus Spence. We don't give a shit about none of this like black versus white thing, Jewish versus black. If y'all want to have a race war or something like that, y'all can go on a NASCAR track. Y'all can go rent some cars and y'all can go race them on a racetrack and y'all can yell racist things at each other. I don't care about none of that. Just make the fight happen. We want to see. We want to see Crawford versus Spence.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate that all this politics, and not just in this point, and I'll force the same thing, that fans always seem to lose, and they're the ones that are putting out the money for all these guys to make their money.
That's what I'm saying.
And I feel that Bob Arum, Al Haymon, Eddie Hearns, Salida Promotions, Richard Schaefer, they all have an important part to play in making the sport better than what it is for the fans, not just for themselves.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know. I like, look, if you're a promoter, there's always a certain level of ego and involved in it. But that's one reason why, for me personally, that's why I like Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn wasn't a guy that was a law student or some guy that just got his degree and decided to get into boxing from the music industry. No, the guy grew up around his whole life. It was his life, and that's why I believe he's so passionate about working so hard for his fighters to get them what they want. But just to get back to Crawford versus Spence, man, like it's not a good sign when you have one promoter questioning the credibility of the other promoter's company, because then that's gonna strike an ego, that's gonna strike a nerve, and then the egos are gonna rise, and then the fight's just not gonna happen, because then Spence doesn't have to fight Crawford immediately because he's got so many options. He should fight Crawford in a perfect world where politics weren't involved and things would happen when they're supposed to happen. Crawford and Spence would be tomorrow. It would be tomorrow, because honestly, there's no reason to marinate this fight. There really is. There's not a $20 million fight. There's not a $100 million fight. This is not a Pacquiao versus Mayweather type of fight. This isn't even Joshua versus Wilder level type of fight as far as the money it'll generate. This is a fight that could be at Cowboy Stadium or maybe even a neutral venue, and they should just put their egos aside and work together for the best interests of the fighters. Number one, because look, I think Crawford and Spence want the fight. I think, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Carver wants a little more than Spence, to be honest with you, because I think Spence has, Al Heyman's got in his ear, and Al Heyman has probably sold him this dream of, well, you can go fight this guy and fight that guy and fight this guy and fight that guy and fight it. But and he's not really throwing Crawford's name in there. So I don't think Errol is thinking about Crawford as much as Crawford is thinking about Errol, because Crawford doesn't have the options Errol has. And Crawford is a little bit older than Errol Spence too. I think he's roughly about 2 years, maybe 3 years older than Errol. So he needs that fight.
So what I want to say was so at the end of the day is my question is, how much do promoters value the careers of the boxers and the sport itself of boxing for the fans?
Well, I've never been around for an extended period of time. I never spent time alone with Bob Arum or Al Heyman or Eddie Hearn, any of these guys, so I can't really say what they're like. But I can say about what some promoters are like in boxing, because I've spent time with promoters in boxing, so I have an understanding for how they think, what makes them tick.
Right.
And it's what makes anybody in the business money. It comes down to money and what's gonna serve their ego the best. I mean, I know one promoter. I'm not gonna say his name, or I'm not gonna name the fighter, but a promoter that I know very well. Recently, I was talking to him, and I heard him talking to some fighters, and he was bragging about how he got one of his fighters into the top 15 rankings of a sanctioning body, and he mentioned about how he did it, how he got him into the sanctioning body. Because this fighter wasn't ranked in any one of the other 4 sanctioning bodies, but he was really happy that he got him in the top 15.
Okay.
So it's like things like that feed these promoters' egos, and it's like little things.
Yeah.
But like, to go back to the Al Heyman and PBC, like, we talk about how PBC was started. We talk about Premier Boxing Champions. It's been a blessing and it's been a curse, PBC, because in a way, whether you like it or not, when PBC came in the game, it shook up boxing, because boxing hadn't been on network television for quite some time.
Right.
At first, fighters getting paid ridiculous amounts of money, and there was more boxing being brought to the masses, and it was a new neighbor on the block, so to speak.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it allowed Bob Arum not to get comfortable. It forced Eddie Hearn to have to raise his game over in the UK before he even got to America. And it did shake things up. So now you have, but now fast forward years later, and the market's just ridiculous. You got DAZN with that they've completely they've pretty much just changed the whole game with what they're doing. Because people don't quite. I'm not sure if you understand, or people understand how they're able to charge $10.99 or whatever it is, $19.99 a month. Because the only reason they're able to do that, because the way pay-per-view works is, right, when a pay-per-view fight is being put on, right, the fighters get paid their purses, and pay-per-view is what they get paid on the back end, or it's added to their purse on the back end.
Wow.
Okay, but with DAZN and what they got going on is, look, they said, look, we have a $1 billion war chest already, so we're gonna pay fighters, we're gonna sign them to deals, lock them in, and basically, because they pay, they're already paying them a certain amount. They don't need extra money in the back end. So what that allows them to do is they don't gotta charge money for important fights, and they can put on a higher degree of a higher volume of quality fights than anybody else can, unless they run out of money. Which, you know, depending on how they manage it, we'll see what happens.
Well, what I like about DAZN, we're going about this, it might be just me, but I think they care more about the fans than the ESPN Plus Top Rank Fighting promotion they have for fights. I mean, people will sign up for that so they can see the fights available to them, and DAZN offers more than ESPN and Top Rank. And my point is, Bob Arum's got enough money. How much more does he need? Does he really care about the fan, or does he really care about his own pockets? He's got enough already.
Bob Arum made an interesting quote. He was talking about how Al Heyman got $500 million from a mutual fund and pissed it all away. He's a scamster. Now, I've been on YouTube for quite some time, so I've seen so many different stages of boxing over the last 4 to 5 years. And I remember about a year into PBC when a report came out basically saying that they had ran through about 80% of their money.
Wow.
And it's believable, because if for those of you who are watching, and y'all can verify this and tell me if I'm wrong, PBC started, their first fight was in March of 2015, when it was Garcia versus Robert Guerrero.
Okay.
Right?
The Ghost.
Oh, Lamont Peterson. My bad. Correction.
Okay,
Yeah.
good point.
Good point. Keith Thurman fought Robert Guerrero, right? Was it Keith Thurman versus Robert Guerrero? Okay.
Wow.
Keith Thurman versus Robert Guerrero.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
and I remember like PBC came out the gate swinging. They had the first couple shows on NBC. They were having cards. Basically, what the Zone is doing now, they were doing back then, but they were doing it
Right.
on network television, and
Gotcha.
that's a lot of money.
Right.
And some of their ratings weren't doing very well because, to be fair, a lot of these fights were mismatches,
Wow.
and people weren't getting excited for them. And the thing is, too, they kind of confuse people too because they don't do this now. You may not even know this because
Right.
you won't.
I'm not for yeah.
PBC when they first started off, like you know how now it's like on Showtime and it's on maybe sometimes Fox and FS1 and that's
Right.
it. It wasn't that organized back then. Back then, you had one card on NBC, you had one card on Spike, you had one on Bounce TV,
Oh, I remember that.
you had
Yeah,
one
yeah,
on
yeah.
ESPN,
Now, yeah,
you had one on
So,
all these different channels, and it's like, damn. Even I was like, damn, what channel is PBC on today?
Hello.
Yeah. So, you know, when you're doing that and it's not as organized, you know, it's hard to build the interest because people don't know where to
Right.
find the fights. And you know, Bounce TV, for example, right? Bounce TV,
Know that.
you only get Bounce TV if you have the freaking antenna or if you get it on Direct TV or something like that. So it's not like a regular channel,
Right,
you know.
right.
So
It's big.
they blew a lot of money earlier. That much I do believe. Whether PBC is a scam or not, I mean, I'll say this. Overall, as a whole, throughout the totality of their whole 4 years in boxing, I would say that overall, PBC's matchmaking is the worst in boxing. Of the big promoters, it's the worst. That's not to say that they haven't put on some great fights,
Between
because they have.
the majority.
They put on some great cards in the past, and even this year they have as well.
Mhm.
But overall, probably put on more mismatches than any promotional outfit in boxing, and that's just calling a spade a spade.
What do you boxing fan thinks about this whole situation?
Yeah, drop your comments down below, guys. We want to
mean,
hear from you.
We need some feedback here. I mean, this is an open forum, and we just want to know what's going on. I totally disagree with the comments that Bob ever made about being a black and white thing. I'm tired about this whole world always making something about race. I think it's more about.
Well, that happens a lot here. That happens a lot here on YouTube with the Lions Den boxing community.
Okay. I don't know much about that, but it was.
You don't want to judge me. You're not missing much.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, like pretty much, you know. But the thing is, and I noticed about boxing. Boxing is very nationalistic. It's very about. For example, you're Puerto Rican, right?
Mhm.
Okay, if you see a Puerto Rican fight in the ring, normally who are you going for?
The Puerto Rican.
Okay, and that's how boxing is sold and it's marketed. So if boxing is sold and marketed in a nationalistic way, why wouldn't there be a section of fans that are racist? Think about it.
Well, I don't think it should be like that. But
I don't think we should. But I'm telling you, if it's sold and it's marketed that way, why wouldn't there be a certain section of people that are racist? Because people aren't smart. You know?
Right. I totally disagree with that. I think we have enough of that in the world. We don't need to have it in the sport of boxing or any other sport. We all bleed red, and I've always said that. But I think here the big thing is money. Everything's about money, and I think that Arum feels very, very angry and very upset with the lawsuit that Al Haymon supposedly won against Top Rank, and this is one way of him getting back at him without taking into considering the boxing fans that want to see this fight.
Yeah. Someone said PBC is my man Hawk Mustang said PBC is the king of showcase fights, and they do quite a lot of showcase fights. Hardcore boxing fans are more racial than casuals, which is I would agree. I've seen some things in boxing groups that should never be repeated.
Wow, that's crazy, but yeah. So I mean, who do you guys think, in your opinion, who's the best, i.e., promoter, manager in boxing today, in your opinion, and why?
Manager. There's a lot of managers. I don't like managers.
I'm not saying in our viewpoint. I want to hear what their feedback is. You got Frank Warren from UK.
Promoter.
I'm just saying, general promoters or managers. Who do you feel is the top dog? According to everybody, and they say Al Haymon. What I don't like about Al Haymon is I don't like how he runs his thing. I just don't like that he doesn't show face to the people to see what he's all about. A manager. I'm sorry, not promoter.
He's an advisor. He's not a manager.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's those words just kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Because however you want to look at Al Haymon, he controls PBC.
He does. So technically,
So when you talk to a fighter,
he
talk to
is a
my
promoter.
advisor. Don't talk to my promoter.
Yeah, nobody's found a way to manipulate the Muhammad Ali Act or get around it.
Can you clarify that for those that are not familiar with that?
Yeah, the Muhammad Ali Act was an act that the U.S. government passed in 1976 or 7. It was basically to prevent promoters from having a conflict of interest with their fighters. It was because back then they were saying it was actually because of Don King, believe it or not, because they were saying like Don King was some fighters, managers, and promoter at the same time.
Oh wow!
So he could actually go to the networks and say, well, hey, we're gonna have this fight, and then he sometimes like he could control like who fighters fought, and they had no say in it because they signed a contract to him and they didn't make the fight print. And a lot of fighters complain about this, like Ali and people like that. They complain about this, so they called it. Yeah, it went to Congress and it passed as the Muhammad Ali Act, and it's a rule where. If I mean in the UK I know it's different, but if you're in America and you're in the boxing game, you cannot be both a promoter and a manager at the same time.
Wow, and that's what I'm saying about boxers. You hear a lot of them from Al Haymon's side. I always say, talk to Al Haymon, talk to this and this, talk to this about that. And then I see, like if I was a boxer, and I could be wrong, I would want to control my career to where I wanted to be. I want to have a say in some part of my career. I don't want somebody else telling me, no, you're not. You can't fight this guy or that guy. Because I want a legacy and a resume that's going to be history in the sport itself.
Yeah.
That, and I think money's the issue.
So some people answered your question. Hawker Mustang says, I like Eddie Hearn, I like Kathy Duo too.
I forgot about her.
And Camus Bentley says, why should fans be a fan of promoters in boxing? I mean,
well, it's not that the fans should be a promoter of boxing. I just think that promoters should look for the outright.
No, they're asking why should boxing fans be fans of any sort of promoter? Like, why should I be sitting here?
Well, me personally, and I'm gonna tell you this just for me. I could be wrong. I like Eddie Hearn from the start, from the get-go. Because one, as a promoter, he keeps his fighters active no matter what. Money win, money lose, he's always got the fighters involved in something. He doesn't have them sit back for a year and a half, a year, 2 years, or whatever, 6 months, 8 months, and let them just sit back and just get the rewards for whatever one fight. He's out there to make money for himself, to promote the fighter, and to make money for the fighter. And that's why I like Eddie Hearns. I'm not saying that promoters not doing that, but I don't think they work as hard as Eddie Hearns. Al Haymon, you name me a fighter or any fighter he's had that's fought more than 5 fights in a year or 3 fights in a year. Yeah. And I guarantee you.
Al Haymon's fighters will argue that they don't need to fight 5 times a year. They're getting paid enough.
Okay, well so be it. But in my feeling, I would go with Hearns only for the simple fact. Like take for example, we can talk about this in the big discussion. You guys can agree, disagree. Franz Bomber, how much money has he made under what is it?
Al Haymon.
Al Haymon, and the zone just offered him $100 million that he never will make under Al Haymon, and that's what I feel, because they're counting on the pay-per-view. I got news for you: pay-per-view is gonna be done with sooner or later.
Absolutely. Lord Executioner says, manager would be Haymon. His guys get good money for some easy fights. And then my man Jimbo said, there's no promoter right now who has a better resume than Bob Arum.
Okay, can you give me a reason why you say that? And what your specific is?
Bob Arum?
And Bob Arum, yeah.
Promoting.
I want to see what he's going to say. I know what you're going to say. I want to see what they got to tell me. Why do you consider him the best promoter for a fighter?
Best.
I mean, as far as fighters in his card, like last night, I will agree with you. He's got some good fighters in the top rank to make him that promotion, this and that. Mm-hmm. I will agree with that. My thing with Al Haymon is that he's got all these fighters, and he does put out some good cards at times. Like last night, I like that Rory's coming back. I like the MS heavyweight. But at the same token, I don't think he's as active and as Eddie Hearns, and he looks for the well-being of the fighter as much as Eddie Hearn does than Al Heyman. Is that right?
Yeah.
According to the contract. And I'm not hating on you guys. Just give me some feedback. Give me some knowledge because I'm not familiar with
my
this.
man, I don't know, is it PBC says best promoter from a fan perspective. Hearn seems the most willing to go out and make fights happen, irrespective of politics.
Thank you so much. You said it the way I truly agree with you 100% on that.
SSB28 says the UK has no Ali. Yeah, I know that. That's why I said here in America.
Oh yeah, they don't have that.
No, they don't have that because the UK, situation in the UK and America is 50 states. So each state has its own commission. In the UK, it's one country, so they just have the British Boxing Board of Control, which oversees everything.
Do you think that's better for boxing, or do you think
Over there?
Oh, the way it's made here in America? Yeah.
No, I think it's better. I think it's better over there.
Because
There's confusion. Because, for example, what's legal in Vegas ain't legal in Florida, and some things that are legal in Florida ain't legal in Vegas.
Okay, I got you.
So
it makes it more confusing here.
exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So that's. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn's. I don't hate any promoter. I just think that how much is the promoter really caring for the fans? Last night we had a big discussion last Sunday night, and we're not talking about the fighter. We're talking about the promoter as Eddie Hearns about promoting Rhino. What's his name?
Dave Allen.
Yeah, Dave Allen.
There you go again about Dave Allen.
We're not hating about him. We're not hating on him. He won the fight, whatever. But what do you fans think about? We know what the UK fans feel about Rhino. And I personally say that every time I see him, he's always raising his hand. That's why I like him. But the UK fans really like him a lot. But as a promoter, do you think that he's really going to bring a lot of money, maybe in the UK, but not in the US, as far as promotion with that?
He gets the US.
Yeah. So what? Like I said, again, I'm going to go back to that question. People talk about Al Heyman, never see the guy, and the advisor, he's a manager, blah 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 blah. But he's from what I hear, he's a control freak. And I'll say it again, Bronze Bomber will not make as much money as he had made if he had signed with his own. Period.
All right. My man, Unadulterated Truth says Al Heyman, though Mayweather has started to show fighters how to create their own promotional companies instead of being exploited by other promoters.
Can you explain it to me again? I don't understand.
Well, my man, Unadulterated Truth, he's like one of the bigger. He loves Al Heyman. Just, he likes Al Heyman, and he's saying that Al Heyman has shown Mayweather how to create his own things, and Mayweather has shown fighters to create their own things. They're not exploited by other promoters. Like, for example, right, Badu Jack, he just started his own promotional company, and I believe. I'm talking about Badu Jack. Badu Jack just started his own promotional company, and I believe they're doing the first ever boxing card in Dubai. And I mean, I'm sure that's something that he wanted to do for a while, and yeah. So,
for his benefit, yeah, it's good because they know that it's a fighter that's known in that area, and he knows he's gonna make money there because the fan base is gonna follow him, and that's something that So I give props for the fighters learning that through whether it's Mayweather or whoever promoter, and Al Heyman or whatever the case is, and they're looking out for that. But I'm talking about money wise, who's gonna make the big money? Not promoting your fight, because you can promote your fight. You could sell any kind of item. You could be a businessman and sell whatever you want. But the question is, how much money are you gonna make on that product?
True. Lord High Executioner says, pay-per-view will never die. Casuals will pay for stars.
I'm gonna tell you like this: if the zone continues the way they're going, look at HBO, prime example. They've been around for how long in the fighting game?
45 years.
And where they're at now.
Out.
So you can't tell me that. I'm gonna argue that all day long. I think for the short amount of time that the zone's been around in the United States, they've done a lot more than what pay-per-view. And for the fan, it's a better bargain for them. That's what you look at the fan.
Hawker Mustang says Al Heyman blocks the most big fights. That's what he loves to do. #cancer.
Okay, but why? Explain that to me. If you have a big fight, and it's a money fight, and both promotion companies are gonna make money off that fight, why would you block that? But what's the reason behind that? I mean, he went to Harvard.
Yeah, people in the comments are also saying that Bob Arum is also a control freak, just so you know.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and off the air, my son and I were talking about that every promoter have their own control and their ups and downs and their plus and negatives. So, so I agree with what my son said. So I'm not saying Eddie Hearns has his way, his pet peeves or whatever. That's fine. But I'm going to go back to Al Heyman. Why would you block a money fight that you know the fans want to see and not promote it. I mean, that's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're talking about the sport of boxing, and the fans are the ones to put the money on the table for them. That's my point. I could be wrong.
Yeah. My man B-Mode said the zone's model doesn't work in the USA. They just raised the price after 1 year.
Okay, you're right. They have, but I would rather pay $20 than $69.95.
No, but basically what he's saying, what he's saying is the way they pay their fighters, as opposed to the traditional pay-per-view model.
It's different.
It's not going to work in the USA. And basically, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it seems like he's implying that the zone is going to be out of boxing.
I don't see that happening.
You know, a lot of people think that. A lot of people think. I know there's a growing number of people that think that the zone will be out of boxing within a couple of years because they don't think it's sustainable to keep putting on this amount of fights with that war chest they have, and eventually that money will run out. They need to get a certain amount of subscribers. But what I would say about the zone is this: they're only in their second, they're going into their second year soon.
Yeah.
So it's early days. It's early days.
It's early in the game, but as a fan, I'm talking from a fan's point of view, not as the money that the zone got, how much money they're gonna lose, how much money they're gonna gain from whatever. As a fan, there is nobody out there right now that can offer the boxing fan a great fight for the money you're paying for. You're getting what your money's worth with the zone than you out from pay-per-view or anywhere else. Last night the fight on ESPN. Check this out. And you guys can argue this point whatever you want. ESPN Plus was supposed to have all these fights and blah 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 blah.
$5 a month.
Right, $5 a month for all these fights, right? But all of a sudden, Khan and Crawford fight, and how much is a fight?
$70.
Go to the zone and you tell me, you want to pay $20 or $70, and I'll leave it like that.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not hating on nobody's opinion on what they
So
think.
it's funny because we have mixed commentary. We have some people saying like Christian Lewis is saying that the zone will capture the market, and then you have people saying that the zone will go out of business in a year, 2, 3 years. So it's very interesting. Personally, I mean, I think the zone will succeed.
I think they. I'm sorry.
I think the zone will succeed for the simple fact that they are ahead of the curve as far as like they have the whole streaming thing going on. They're bringing what Eddie Hearn is doing. Well, it's not Eddie Hearn because the zone is not his thing. He's just part of it. But what the zone is doing is they're modernizing boxing programming.
Wow.
Okay, because for so long, up until just recently, you had boxing being shunned from the majority of the public on closed circuit television. HBO, Showtime,
Right.
and you do have to pay for the zone. I get that, but see, the zone isn't just a boxing platform. I think that's people get messed up. The zone recently just acquired the rights to MLB Network's show, The Change Up, where they go through all the games and whatnot.
Right.
They have stuff with I'm drawing a blank here. And a bunch of other sports too.
Yeah.
And they also are working on a big deal. And I'm saying right now, if they get this one deal done.
Soccer?
No, not well. They have soccer, but no. If they get there's one deal that if they get it done, the zone is not going anywhere. They're working on a deal to get NFL Sunday ticket.
Ooh,
Yeah.
in America, let me tell you something right now. The zone, for the short amount of time that they've been here in the U.S., we're not talking about them being established over in the U.K. or in the European
They
countries,
don't have it
whatever,
in the UK.
or whatever the case may be. But the zone, to me, has spoken volumes. You think that HBO would just shut down just because? No. They shut down because the reality of it.
And Bob Arum left.
And the zone is looking out for the fan. They're looking out for themselves. Don't get me wrong. The money for them. But think about it. If you're a boxing fan, you could pay $20 and $70
for the year.
Is that again?
$100 for the year.
Right.
So for $30 more than you paid for Crawford Spence last night, you can get a whole year for the fights.
Right. So if you see 5 fights for $70, that's how much is that? That's $350. If you get on the zone for $20 or $100, you're going to see every fight available. Every great fight that's available.
I mean, you're getting Joshua's fights, you're getting Canelo's fights, you're getting the World Boxing Super Series, you're getting Golden Boy fights.
Yeah.
So you're getting a good amount of boxing from all kinds of different promoters and stuff. Let's see. Interesting point here by SSB28. He says even WWE does not do pay-per-view anymore. The money is not there. And
Wow.
Yeah, because fair play to the WWE. I was a wrestling fan when I was a kid. They were about 5 years ahead of everybody else when they decided that they weren't gonna go do pay-per-view as much, and they created the WWE Network. So now you pay a subscription to WWE Network, and you get all of if you miss an episode of Raw or SmackDown, you watch on the WWE Network.
Oh.
You get to watch all the. I mean, you can go back as far as the '80s and the '90s and watch freaking shows from the night. I could probably go by the WWE Network right now and go watch fights or wrestling shows when I was 7 years old, when Rob Van Dam was jumping off the top rope, doing the frog splash. Like, but they were ahead of the game in that. So that's a great point.
Yes, and that is so true because I have a nephew of mine. He's a big WWF, and I'll tell you the truth. If the WWF didn't come up with some kind of program like that, I would be wasting a lot of money paying pay-per-view and all this to see the fights. So I mean, I will say again, the Zone did, which I thought was good when they merged with Golden Boy, and they brought more fights together. Now you got Canelo. Just imagine if Canelo would have signed with somebody else, how much it would have cost a diehard boxing fan to go see him fight.
Yeah. Sean Ramjur, what's up, champ? Yeah, he said he made an interesting point. He said Eddie Hearn needs to tailor his cultural awareness to the U.S. market better.
I'm not understanding that. What do you mean, like?
What he's saying is like, okay, so basically Eddie Hearn has admitted this too. Eddie Hearn comes from the UK, Europe, okay, and it's different over there. Promoting is different over there than it is here. Here you have a lot of entertainment options, so you need to really stand out, okay? And a lot of times the way Eddie Hearn does things in the UK, he's tried to do it here in America, and hasn't worked.
Okay.
It hasn't really made the Zone or his own fight cards pop off. So that's what he's saying pretty much.
Well, I totally agree with who's him?
Sean Ramjur.
I agree with you what you're saying there because
just so you know.
Because all right, there you go, New England Patriots, Tom Brady, the Gronk is gone, Boston Red Sox, Boston Bruins. Anyways, back to boxing. I totally agree with what you're saying. Eddie Hearn has been very successful in the UK and found a way to get his fans and the boxing fans to that market. But in the U.S., like my son was saying, it's a whole bunch of competition out there. What I think he should do, and I suggest, and I could be wrong, and I've seen this done in big corporations that I work under, they bring in a company to audit and find out a way for somebody that doesn't understand the market to get a way to get the American public more aware of what they're all about and make sales and that. So I agree totally with
And I'll say this, I think that's where, probably more so than Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn, I think that's where PBC and Al Haymon actually gets it right.
Okay.
They
Kudos to both of them.
They get because Al Heyman's been in the entertainment business, not just boxing, but entertainment business for decades upon decades. His cultural awareness and how to sell fights and get fighters known through different through different cultural platforms here in America is second to none as far as the guys in boxing, the power players in boxing.
Okay.
I give you an example, right? People in America, a lot of people in America don't know who the hell Deontay Wilder is. But guess what? When the Final Four was going on, guess who was CBS interviewed during the game? When there's 15 million people watching the game. Wow. Deontay Wilder. So like stuff like that, you know.
So they get it, and you gotta understand, Bob Arum came with. I don't know much about Haymon, where he's actually from, but Bob Arum came with
the same place as Don King.
Okay, Cleveland. Bob Arum comes from New York City, the Big Apple, the capital of the United States, as far as multicultural nationalities and vice versa. He got Italian and whatever, and he understands how to draw that. So yes, he's got an upper hand on that. Al Haymon, I don't know much about. My son just told me from Cleveland. I don't know much about Cleveland, Ohio, but I do know that if you come from the Big Apple, Boston, or any type big city like that, or Los Angeles, where the intensity,
Authenticity.
Yeah, it's different. You got to understand for that. Yes, you got upper hand on anybody, and Eddie Hearn doesn't understand that because from the UK, it's like saying Bob Arum going to the UK and trying to promote himself over there over Eddie Hearn's. I guarantee you, Eddie Hearn's will up upper hand on that.
Oh yeah, it's because the market is different.
Yeah.
Let's see what other comments we got here. BMU32 said Eddie Hearn burns bridges with his mouth. Lou DeBella said this years ago about Eddie. Well, Lou DeBella whines about everything. Lou DeBella says a lot of things.
I agree.
I'm sorry. That's one guy I'm not really a massive fan. I'll be honest with you.
I agree with you with that, but I also agree with my son. I agree about Eddie Hearn's, that he's the most active promoter out there in the public's eye.
Spencer Percival, shout out to Spencer. He said, "The Zone is more than boxing. In time, it will buy the stream rights for other sports leagues like the English Premier League, NFL, the NBA, the MLS. It will go for it all, and as a sports fan, one subscription for all sports. And you know, when Eddie Hearn, when this whole thing was going on, when I first started hearing about the zone, they said they wanted to become the Netflix for sports.
Wow, so they're already thinking big.
So they've already acquired the rights for that one MLB show. They have all the stuff going on in boxing. They got exclusive with Bellator MMA. I believe they have something with the Chinese League Soccer. Chinese League Soccer.
But
so yeah, they're doing
little by little. They're getting to the main sports that people love here in America, and it's gonna come out. And I totally agree with that.
Camus Bentley said, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm not interested in watching Eastern European fighters, so promote those guys to people who want that, and that's cool. I'll watch a whole bunch of other options. If I want to see Eastern Europeans, I'll watch hockey.
Okay, but are you referring to the zone being that type of a market?
That Eddie Hearn has a lot of Eastern Usyk, Bivol, guys like that. He's saying he doesn't really care for those guys.
Let me tell you something right now. Eddie Hearn's offered the Charlos money. Did they take it? No. Eddie Hearn has asked all the fighters in America to come to him. He's got the big money in his pockets. Do they want it? No. So I understand your point of view of saying that, okay, I'm not going to tune into Eddie Hearn's in the zone because of the fact that he only has these fighters. But the fighters don't want to make that money with Eddie Hearn. They want to stay with who? Al Haymon. And I'm going to go back to this. The Bronze Bomber could have made more money with the zone for those 3 fights than he ever was going to make in his career with the team he has now. So I'm not hating on you. I respect your opinion. I'm just telling you what I feel about it.
LR Trigger says, Al Haymon wants to make PBC the UFC of boxing, and he is ruining good matchups while trying to do it.
Well, you can't. One thing that I've noticed, if I post something about MMA or UFC, and I post something about boxing, you're going to get 3 times more views from the UFC and MMA than you will boxing. Why is that? I'm just trying to get them to open and understand my point of view. I mean, Al Haymon, props to him. He just signed a big contract with Fox for the sports and the boxing, whatever. I understand that. But I don't know about him. You know what? I'm going to do some study on Al Haymon. I need to know what type of person this guy is. Besides hearing everybody he's a control freak. Because honestly, if he's a control freak, he doesn't care about you, the fan. He doesn't care about what the fans want. He only cares about how he wants to get it done. His ego is too high.
BMO32 said they won't sign with Eddie Hearn because Eddie will have them in the UK fighting in places like Liverpool, LMAO.
Listen, let me tell you like this.
Home of Everton Football Club.
Let me tell you like this. And this is from Kovalov, the Crusher. And that's why I respect him. I respect any champion that does that. You know what he said? Any champion, any boxer will go anywhere and fight. To make his name known.
Dad, so does that mean that Bob Arum cares about the fans? Do you think Bob Arum cares about the fans?
No, I think Bob cares about his own pockets more than anything else.
Okay.
Because if he did, on the ESPN Plus and Top Rank, he would allow that fight to go on for the other fans just like the Zone. You tell me. You do your math, Einstein, or anybody. The Zone, $20 a month or $100 a year to see every great fight that's available, or the ESPN Plus, well, whatever it is, $5 a month, and not see all the great fights and pay per-view money for that. You tell me.
SSE28 has a question. I'm sure you love the answer. He said, can anybody answer why Daniel Jacobs left PBC? If Al was so good, why did Jacobs go to Eddie?
At the end of the day, a lot of boxers don't want to expose everything because a lot of times.
Any guy in Canelo fight.
I mean, and a lot of boxers don't want to expose whoever the promoter is, whatever, because of his power behind the scenes, and they could actually blackball the fear of his blackballing his career, holding him back. But there's a reason why he left, and that's a good question. Why did he leave Al Haymon? And why did he leave, why did he go to the Zone? And I'm gonna tell you why. Show me the money.
BMO32 also said all PBC fighters love Al Haymon. He's for all fighters getting more money, even the lowest of them.
Okay, I'm not discrediting Al Haymon as far as what he's doing with his fighters, and as far as what he's doing, and the fighters back him up and whatever. They have all the respect for him, but and this is a discussion that I've talked to my son about all these promoters. One thing that I do disagree with Al Haymon's contract that he got with fighters. if that motherfucker goes in the ring and gets his ass knocked out and becomes paralyzed, why don't you ask Al Haymon if he's gonna pay for him after he fights? And you tell him what the contract says. The contract says no. If you risk yourself in your injury, I no longer will support you. That's Al Haymon. But this.
Yeah, we were reading over that. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is there's a reason why Jacobs left, and I'm not saying he's wrong or right. And every fighter has a reason why. But I'm always going to draw it back to Manny Pacquiao, only because he's been on both sides of the leverage with Bob Arum and with Al Haymon. But the zone right now is the one with the money in the pockets. And Eddie Hearns is willing to pay to get that going. And not every promoter is doing that. Not even Al Haymon is doing that. And don't tell me, oh yeah, he kept Bronze Bomber. No, Showtime told Bronze Bomber. That wasn't Al Haymon. Showtime told Bronze Bomber, you stay with us, we're going to pay you. It wasn't Al Haymon. I have to agree with you with that. Most of the time, it's like that. There's often times there are some good fights that Al Haymon puts out, but at the end of the day, you know, I get mad when a fighter says, "Go ask Al Haymon."
Call Al.
Call Al.
I like when they're
Come
arguing.
on, man, grab your balls, just like Fimo or whoever, and come out and say, "I want to fight this guy. I don't care. Make it happen. I'm making you money as my promoter. Make it for me."
That's why Roman Gonzalez was the GOAT, because Roman Gonzalez didn't sign none of these dudes. He fought.
Oh yeah.
Promotion.
Oh yeah.
He didn't. He was what Haymon.
That's Japan, right? Japanese.
Yeah,
or,
he's the biggest promoter in Japan.
Okay, so there you go. So, and that's why I get mad about when fighters come out and tell me how great Al Haymon is.
Just so you know that, just so you know, because someone was
Yeah.
correcting you in the comments, and in the right actually.
Right.
Shelly Finkel is Wilder's manager. Al Haymon is his advisor.
How we want to look at it? They're all in the same corrupt. I understand what you're saying. I know Shelly Cohen is a manager, and Al Haymon's advice. I understand what you're telling me. But at the end of the day, how much money have they made for Bronze Bomber for as long as he's been fighting compared to what Anthony Joshua's done? You tell me that. I don't care about what team, what promoter. Make me the money. Make me my career. Make my career worthwhile.
I'll say this too. I think a good way to judge promoters. I mean, it's
Right.
kind of
Like that.
you can't really compare Arum to anybody because Arum has been in boxing for so long, so it's not fair. But like, for example, like you ask yourself the question. And I know he's not a promoter, but we'll just say his company. We'll say PBC.
Okay.
How many fighters since for the last 4 years, right? The PBC is older than the Zone.
Right.
How many fighters has PBC built from the ground up into like brawls or world class, champion fighters? So there's only one that comes to mind, and that's Errol Spence. They
Okay.
signed him from the beginning. They built him up slowly, and now he's a guy that's headlining at Cowboy Stadium. You know.
I mean,
Hearns taking Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearns taking Anthony Joshua.
I'm not gonna hate on Al Haymon because he does have he has 100 fighters or whatever, more than any other promoter, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, whoever you sign with, whoever free agent, whoever represents you, he's got to look out for your career, and that's why I'm angry with I love Deontay. I like that he's got that one power punch, but I get mad because he had an opportunity to make so much money with the Zone at a shorter time. Forget what Shelly Finkel says. Forget what PBC says, or Haymon says. At the end of the day, it's your career. When you're done, and they're sitting back with their feet up and everything, how much money did you make in your career?
Yes, sipping a pina colada in Aruba.
That's what I'm saying. Like, literally. I mean, and I also blame the boxer. I mean, I love Deontay Wilder, but his brain's like a box of rocks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it.
I agree, SSB. They're all scums to me.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not saying that. It's all about them. But Bronze Bomber doesn't see. Deontay Wilder does not see that. He does not see that. Eddie Hearns came out and offered you this much money, more than you ever made in your time.
Someone asked, why do you think that Mikey Garcia, Flamingo, and Oscar all left Bob Arum?
Probably because he was just coming his own way, like they all are. They all have something. Everybody has something in their closet, skeleton closet. I'm telling you that straight up. Whether it's boxing, sports, or a personal thing, everybody has something.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think PBC is a scam?
I think for what the fans sometimes put out there and the fights they put out there, they don't put the great fights all the time. They don't. And you told me this the other day with Eddie Hearns. Hearns doesn't do it all the time either. But I'm willing to bet that Eddie Hearn's willing to go back for his boxer and put him out there to make
I'll
some
tell
money.
you this, you know, his main I mean, where he makes his money really is has been the UK because that's his market. The fans, the UK fans that wanted to see them, the lion's share of them, they've got them.
Yeah,
They've got them. You know, you can't really complain if you're a UK boxing fan. You got the majority of the matches you wanted to see.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's why I get mad when I hear boxers say, "Talk to my advisor," or "Talk to this." Yo, come on, man. You gotta control your own career. It's your money, not theirs. You making them money.
Ooh, LR Chigga, my man LR Chigga is letting you know. He said, "Tell your boy Ortiz to stop dugging that smoke with Joshua."
Listen, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of King Kong. You know what I'm saying? And I've been wanting this fight for the longest time. And then again, who's blocking the fight again? The greatest, whatever. El Haymon is holding it back. Why? Is your interest again for the fan, for the boxer, or for yourself?
B-Mode, he might not be over anyone at the Zone because the Zone isn't his company, but he was the first guy that started working with the Zone. He was the first guy that they entrusted to give that money to. He was the first. He was the guy they put their money into, like signing fighters. So yeah, maybe he's not. It's not his company, so to speak, but they're putting money into matchroom boxing and helping him sign fighters and they're trusting him to help grow the Zone, which he has done. So he does have money to spend. He's got money to blow, like that one song by Birdman, "Money to Blow."
Yeah. So I mean, so at the end of the day, I think somebody asked about.
Amir Khan, listen, Amir Khan and Kell Brook did have him. That wasn't a promoter thing. That was a Khan thing, okay? Because Khan told Kell Brook in 20 whatever it was, Kell, you gotta beat Matthew Hatton. Beat Matthew Hatton. Then after he beat Matthew Hatton, he said, Kell, you gotta get a win a world title. And then he won a world title. Then he said, okay, well, Kell doesn't want to fight any big names. I got bigger fish to fight in America. And it's been one thing after another with Khan. And now would have been the perfect time to fight Kell Brook, but now he said, I want to fight the big names. I'm going to America to fight Crawford. Pound for pound, I want to do this, that. And then you fought Crawford, and you know, he had a couple decent rounds, but really, you got outclassed. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you see the replay. Like he didn't get. I don't think he got punched in the nuts. To be honest with you, he really got punched like kind of in the quad.
Yeah.
A lot of people think he quit that fight.
I think he got shocked at what happened. That's what happened. He knew Crawford was gonna come after him, and he got scared, honestly. I mean, as far as what we were talking about before we talked about that, as far as that fight last night, Crawford I think he would have put it on him. I mean, a lot of people, it's just like the same Mayweather and Pacquiao. A lot of people talking about Kell Brook and Khan for the longest time. After a while, it becomes a broken record that you don't want to hear no more.
It's true. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments are talking about Brook versus Spence because you know Kell Brook was in New York City this week, lobbying for a fight with Terrence Crawford. And honestly, you know, Top Rank has no welterweights, so it's very likely that could be an opponent for Terrence Crawford. You know, I'll say this: I like Kell Brook. I'm a fan of his. I think people slate him all the time. I think you know he's a fantastic fighter. And I'll be honest with you, people can say they want about Brook. He's not gonna go in there and lay in there like Khan did last night. That was pretty bad. What we saw from Khan last night because the guy was very predictable in his attack.
Yeah.
I mean, he got punched on his quad. And I don't know. I think he quit last night. I'm not gonna lie. I think he quit.
I think
to me, he quit last night.
Once you seen Crawford coming in like a hungry dog, I think he realized, like, you know, this isn't gonna happen. And that's why I always say, like, I like to put Crawford because people don't know the dog he got. He got the dog in him, and when it comes out, he did it. And to go back to the Brook and Khan fight, if that fight ever happens, I'm still gonna take Kell Brook. But I think one of the biggest concerns that I have with Kell Brook is his eye. I don't know why. I just think that where he fights, people know about that, know about his injury, whether it's good or bad, and they're gonna go for that eye, and they're gonna do that. Prior to him fighting GGG the way he was in his prime, this and that, I think Kell Brook could take anybody. And I still think with that bad eye, he can still beat Khan. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is people will know that he's susceptible to that injury, and they're going to go for that.
Brook is Spence's best way to make it happen, Bob. If Crawford does better than Spence, that will boost his image.
Look at it this way. In the UK, Khan and Brook is big just as the Fury and Joshua or whatever.
Not anymore.
No, but I'm saying in general, in the UK, these are names that will be out there and they're going to make money. I don't know how how much the UK really want this fight anymore. But I mean, if that's what the UK fans still want, and the both boxers can go in the limelight with some money in their pocket that they already have enough already, then so be it.
It's Otto. I'm not. Look, they're saying so far that with Ortiz, it's not enough time for him to train and get ready. How much time do you need to get ready to fight for damn near all the heavyweight belts? And people also want to know, why is it that whenever Ortiz always calls AJ out when he has a fight schedule, but when he's free, he's as quiet as a church mouse.
Listen, I'm gonna say it again. It's up to the boxer again, and that's the way I'm gonna feel about it. If Ortiz really wants to get the opportunity, that I don't think that's gonna happen to him again, because I as much as I love Ortiz and I'm a big fan of his, I have to agree with my son. He's not as prime as he was a few years ago, and if he's gonna fight a prime Joshua, woo. So I mean, his opportunity is right. He's knocking on the door right now. Forget about the excuses. If he doesn't take it now, he's done.
BMO, that's a popular opinion a lot of people have, because Eddie Hearn signed Ortiz for a couple of fights a couple years ago, and Ortiz was in some of the worst. Some of the worst fights you'll ever see.
Right.
He fought Dave Allen. He
Right.
fought Malik Scott, which is even worse. That was one of the worst fights ever. And then that's what it was. But yeah, a lot of people think that Eddie signed Ortiz just specifically to keep him away from Joshua for a couple of years.
Wow. So it's basically like a duck type thing, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Rock or whatever.
Ducking in plain
Yeah.
sight.
So yeah, but I'm a big fan of Ortiz. His time is now though, because he can't wait no more. His time, Father Time is catching up to him. And my son was telling me back in his prime, he would say, yeah, he could beat a lot of, but right now,
Yeah. So do you think Crawford Spence ever happens? I don't.
From what I hear right now, and I'll say the big word, the P, politics, as long as that's in the middle of boxing, it will never happen. It's just like the fight with, I don't know if the fight with Riddick Bowe and Lennox was a lot of politics.
It was.
And look what the fan did. The fan to this day is still talking about that fight, and they suffered because they didn't get to see the fight that they wanted to see.
I mean, damn, I was live with Riddick Bowe for about 10 minutes the other day, and people in the comments saying, you should have fought Lennox Lewis.
And what did he say? He came out and said something about that? Or
He didn't say much.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's in the past. You can't change it, you know? So right now is the time for Ortiz to fight Joshua. Okay, Joshua's still young. How old is Joshua right now? 20s? Late 20s? 30s? He's still a prime. So, but from what I hear, people are saying that Cuban years, Ortiz is like 50 years old.
In Cuban years?
I'm saying, no, I don't mean it like in a bad way. What I'm saying is people say that he's through his time, he's hitting his age, his true identity for how old he really is. And if you think about it, it doesn't matter how much you want to hide your age, Father Time will let you know in the ring if you still got it or not.
Absolutely. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, this whole Crawford Spence thing has turned into one just big pissing contest between Al Haymon and Bob Arum. And I'm not really happy about it, honestly, because these are two guys in Crawford and Spence who I spent a lot of time following over the last, half a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I admire them both. I fight a piece of both of them. I've interviewed them both. They're two of boxing's best fighters. And it needs to happen. I've said many times, I feel like that fight would be this generation's version of Thomas Hearns versus Sugar Ray Leonard. And
has PBC come out with a comment about that, or some type of a comment to defend themselves of what Bob Arum said, or they just let it be?
Who?
PBC.
No.
I'm not gonna say Al Haymon. I'm saying PBC. Are they coming back to defend themselves, to take a stand, or they just let it be?
No, they let it be.
Yeah. So.
I want to, I wanted to ask you about just now that we had some time to really sit down and marinate on what happened last night. What did you make of the Con Crawford fight, the ending, how everything unfolded?
Oh man, I waited so long for this fight. We went for months and weeks, and we were primed for this fight. And there's always something. Or I got hurt. I just stopped the fight. Whatever. I was kind of surprised that it ended the way it did. To be honest, I'm disappointed that I didn't get more out of the fight. What I expected.
The whole build up to the fight, I'll keep seeing videos and clips and I'm just like, I'm not excited. I'm just the main event itself. I'm talking about the undercard I was excited for,
right.
But the main event itself, I'm just not excited for this fight. Like I don't know what it is. I'm just not excited for this fight. And then when I saw Khan throwing punches, I'm like, man, Khan's speed looked decreased. He's doing the same thing he's always done. He's lunging with everything. And then, you know, he starts working his way back into the fight just a little bit, not a whole lot, a little bit. And Crawford hits him with that Andre Ward treatment. I mean, he must be studying some film on Andre Ward, because he said, shoot, right to the nut. Well, not to the nuts, he hit him more on the
whatever the case was, he said he felt, Khan said he felt his nerves and his legs, and he didn't feel well, whatever. I think, at the end of the day, I think he knew Crawford was coming. Even before that actually happened, Virgil wanted to throw the towel in, you know, because he knew already that Crawford was coming to get him. So, I mean, it was to me, it was very disappointing how it ended, and that's how boxing is. Sometimes you just never know. He made his money, moved on, and however you want to see it. If you really want to continue to fight, be a tough fighter, you know, take your time to heal up from that groin punch or whatever the case may be, and continue fighting.
Wasn't it you said that you like the fact that Virgil Hunter looks out for his fighters earlier?
Yeah, I did say that. I'm not discrediting that. He's looking for his health and everything, but at the same time, Khan being the fighter that he is and knowing what's at stake and why he chose this fight, he should continue on. Give him the time for him to recuperate from that punch, and he didn't do that. Because you know why? Because he knew that Crawford had to dog him last night, and it was going to be over for him. That's why. So, I'm not discrediting what the trainer's doing for the boxers, for the health and everything. No, I didn't say that. I'm not contradicting myself. What I'm saying is, Khan had a choice, okay? He had a choice to go in the ring with Brook, Special K, or with Crawford. He chose Crawford. He knew what he was going to get into in the ring.
I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't know until after the fact. Until he got it's like you and me fighting. I can say to you, yeah, this fight's gonna be easy, blah blah blah, my speed and everything. Then pop! Oh shit! You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm not discrediting Virgil for what he did. He's looking out for his fighter as far as and I'm not contradicting myself. What I'm saying is, as a boxer, you wanted this fight. How bad did you really want it? Don't give me that bullshit that your nerves and your legs crinkled and blah 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 blah. How bad do you really want to take that belt from Crawford? That's my question.
A lot of people are upset because, like my man Anthony McKen says, you know, they don't want to stay up that late to watch a man quit in the 5th round.
But that's the thing about boxing. None of us do. I mean, but I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, just a few minutes ago. Khan had a choice, and he wanted to make his legacy better, or whatever the case may be. And if you really want it bad enough, you know, let me tell you something, man. I've been in the military. I jump out of planes. I've been in the war. I've been all over.
And
let me tell you something. I fear for my life. I fear what's going to happen out there when I was out there. But you know what? I continue on because I had the heart. And I don't think Khan had that last night.
Damn.
That's my...
What's funny is I remember when Kell Brook fought Earl Spencer and he took the knee and he had a problem with his eye and they waited the fight in the 11th round, not the 5th, the 11th round, the championship round.
Yeah.
I got a lot of Amir Khan fans jumping on my channel saying, oh, BT, Kell Brook's a quitter. BT, Brook sucks. Oh, BT, Brook just living off Khan's name.
Yeah. And
now it's like I don't hear, nor do I see.
I mean,
any Amir Khan fans in sight.
Before that fight started, I also said, and I'm a firm believer, history repeats itself. And I said he's had a weak chin, and that was going to be the determining factor. When Crawford came in and gave him that first shot, he went into shock.
Literally, the first punches he committed to, he landed and knocked him down.
Yeah, he went into shock automatically. So, I don't want to hear about Virgil Hunter as far as this and that. I respect him and what he did, but at the end of the day, Khan didn't have the heart. And to be honest, I don't think he has the heart for any big fight. Because with Kell Brook, believe me, Kell Brook's going to be the pit bull and he's going to be the puppy.
Kell Brook's obsessed with that fight.
Because he's been waiting for he's tired of Khan talking jack about him, making all this stuff, making all these excuses. Or you want to fight him on a catch weight and blah, 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 blah. Get in the ring. And I'll be honest with you, I think last night, Khan's going to the limelight. Retired.
You think so? No Brook fight.
I don't think Brook is going to tear him up.
I just want to see it. Like I've been on YouTube for like 4 years.
I've been wanting that fight.
I remember like one of my first like couple videos I made was freaking Brook vs. Khan. We're still here in 2019 and we're still talking about Brook vs. Khan. I just want it to happen.
Somebody said something.
He never got starched out on the canvas like Khan. I'm talking about Kell Brook. It's true. When he got stopped against Triple G, he was on his feet against Triple G.
Yep. I'm telling you right now, the live dog in that fight, if it ever happens, is Kell Brook. Kell Brook has heart. You gotta respect Kell Brook. Khan doesn't have the heart.
Exactly. Everybody always and to talk about Kell Brook Amir Khan for a second, because I like Kell Brook. I mean, in the past I wasn't a Amir Khan fan. I'm not gonna lie, but Kell Brook fought Triple G. I know he lost, but like,
Yeah.
I like Kell Brook.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I like Khan too. I'm not hating on him. I just think that he had an option to go either way, and he chose the tougher road. According, and he thought it was gonna be easy road, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
He lost. To me, he lost a lot of speed. And like I was telling my son, once Father Time comes in, I don't care how fast you were when you were 18, 19, 22, 23, 24. Once Father Time comes in, I can't run a mile under 6 minutes, huh? But when I was 21, 19 years old, I can run that. Woo, you know what I'm saying? When Father Time catches in, you have to see the reality of it. And people, what I don't like about people that just keep discrediting Crawford, that his resume stinks, that he hasn't fought nobody, da. But don't get it twisted. Crawford got the dog in him, okay? And if Arum and this fight don't happen, don't get it twisted. And last night he showed why.
Yeah. Someone said, they've been on boxing Facebook groups today, and they feel like Amir Khan is getting an easy ride. Not only is he a shot fighter, he also looks like he's fighting concussed and that he is punch drunk.
Whatever they want to say about him, whatever excuses everybody want to say about Amir Khan, the bottom line is he didn't have the heart of a lion to stay in their fight, and he didn't want Crawford's legacy on his resume, and he didn't want his belt. Bottom line.
Listen, I know Kell Brook hasn't beaten the amount of names Amir Khan has beaten in his career, but you know what? You know, I say this a lot because I always say like boxing isn't about wins and losses sometimes, and that's what I would tell you about. You know, I was going to give Rosado yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He gives you moments, okay?
Yeah.
Kell Brook gave us some damn moments when he fought Triple G.
Yeah.
And it was the second or third round, and he was trading with Triple G in the center of the ring, and he was winning the exchanges, and he was hitting Triple G with uppercuts and left hooks, and when he lifted Triple G out the canvas with the uppercut,
let me tell you,
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget where I was, what I was doing, and how berserk I was going. And it was a moment. It was a moment in time I'll never forget.
And if he never got that injury, who knows what would have happened? I mean, but I'm gonna say it again. Kell Brook never backed down from a fight.
He wants Crawford.
He never backed down from Khan. He's been chasing Khan for so long. Khan wants to fight him with a catch weight. Khan's always coming up with some excuses. So how much does he really wanted that fight? He didn't want it bad enough because he took the Crawford fight. Put to you that way.
There you go.
And his legacy in the UK, if he fights Kell Brook and Brook puts it on him, forget about it.
Well, I would say it'd be even worse if he retires and doesn't fight Kell Brook. I know people will say that, I mean, his legacy is good. Like, the guy is the youngest British boxer to win a medal in the Olympics. Okay, world champion. We get all that stuff. It's all great. But the one fight, since he's been a welterweight, the one fight everybody's been talking about for his career, other than Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, the fight in the UK, the domestic fight, the one that would have back then sold out Wembley Stadium, was him versus Kell Brook. Now, I don't think it's Wembley fight anymore, but it's still a big fight.
Yeah.
It's still a fight where, you know, I would say like both of them have taken some devastating losses in their career. Make the fight, you know.
I mean, like my son's right. Just make the fight and give the fans what they want to see. At the end of the day, you both gonna go in the limelight with money in your pocket. But if that fight ever happens, I'm taking chocolate brownie. Matter of fact, after I get off this, I'm gonna have a brownie.
A chocolate brownie.
Yeah.
What's my main man, Kell Brook?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Because you know, Khan had a choice and he made his own decision. And what would have happened if he did fight not Crawford and fought Kell Brook and Brook put a beating on him? What's he gonna say then?
He would have retired. He would have retired.
What would have happened then? Oh, well, you know, I mean, I'm also gonna give props to Khan because he was willing to go after this for his legacy, and he was willing to do all this. So I'm not hating on Khan, but I just think that he gave up too much on himself.
My man Earl Jackson made a good point. He said he won't fight Kell Brook because he wants to be the best UK fighter ever there. Talking about welterweights. Because think about it, right? If he doesn't fight Kell Brook, he's won a silver medal, younger than anybody. He's been a world champion. He's been in big fights. He took on Canelo. He fought Crawford. He fought all these guys. Multiple weight world champion. If he fights Kell Brook and he loses to him, let's say he fights Kell Brook and Kell Brook starches him 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Starches him. That's gonna be the last thing they remember about his career, that he got knocked out by Kell Brook. And I want to see it. So make the damn fight happen.
At the end of the day, you're gonna have the best resume in British boxing history, the first whatever, the second whatever, whatever the case may be. But there's always gonna be questions about that fight, and whether the fight happens or not. I truly believe in my heart, because Brooke has always been talking about it. He's not backing down from Khan. He doesn't make any kind of rules or regulations when they do fight. That he's been wanting to fight. So
all these years, it's been Khan been the one that said in the rules. Oh, beat Mendy Hatton. Okay, when I met that, beat one more time. And I won time. Oh, you don't want to fight big names. I got bigger picture for it.
So I look at it like this: if if it happens or if it doesn't happen, it's always going to be questioned on British minds. But I guarantee you what they're going to say. Chocolate Brownie would have put an ass whooping on them.
There you go. There you have it. Straight away.
Yeah.
Just like that here on True School Sports. Now we are live here on True School Sports. Got my dad here.
Click that button, baby.
It is your boy BT. Make sure you hit that like button. We are talking boxing. We're talking about earlier how Bob Arum said that Al Haymon is going to tell Earl Spence not to listen to the white guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what's funny. The fact that he actually said that, or the fact that he tried to classify himself as white because he's not white, he's Jewish.
Yeah.
He's a Jew.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I always say, you could be green, yellow, purple, whatever. We'll all be red. That's how I look at things.
I wanted to ask you. So last night we've always been talking about this guy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Teofimo Lopez. What did you make of his performance against Edis Talti?
I think it was a great. I think it was a great performance. He had an opponent that was 31-2, that had more experience than he had, and he came in and did what he had to do. He took care of business. And I'm gonna tell you, like he said it. He says, you know what? I'm here to do the takeover. So I mean, he's showing he's a prospect, like everybody says. He has no belts. He has no championships. But you know what? When he gets in that ring, that bell rings. At the end of the day, he does what he does, and he takes care of his opponent. So my thing is, I think he's gonna be a big prospect. I like it. I like his attitude. In the beginning, I'll be honest with you. In the beginning, and it's funny. I did the same thing with Lomachenko. I hated Lomachenko. I hated Fimo because of his attitude when he's jumping and when he knocks somebody out and this and that, and the guy's knocked out and no disrespectful. But then I started to realize that's just his confidence. He's not hating on the guy. That's just the way he is. And the same thing with Lomachenko. I hated Lomachenko for the longest time, but now I'm even more angry at Lomachenko because to me he is the best skilled boxer in boxing, but he won't fight Timo because he doesn't have a belt or because he doesn't have money. Well, the case may be.
Last night was interesting because they had a whole clip of him where he was saying, when he was talking about Teofimo Lopez, and he thought it was funny that this guy who just started boxing is calling him out. And he said it was a joke to him. He has no belt. He's calling him out. He called it a big joke. But then I'm sitting there asking myself, okay, well, wasn't it a joke? Was it a joke when you cherry picked Miguel Mariaga and dragged him up a weight class? Was it a joke when you dragged Regan Diao 2 weight classes? Was it a joke when you fought Koasicha in your fifth professional fight? Was it a joke when you lost or Journeyman in your second professional fight because he low blowed you and you had no sort of instinct in the professional ranks of boxing? Were those jokes? No. Okay. Well, if not, then shut up. That's what I felt.
And what I don't like about boxing, whether it's Lomachenko or anybody else, I hate excuses. Excuses is like a bunch of you know what in this world. You know what I mean? And I don't like that. Especially the caliber of fighter you are, you should have confidence in yourself and your skill. If anybody calls you out, get in there with them. And Fimo said the same thing. Get in, come in here. I'm waiting for you. Eventually, they're gonna meet. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I feel sorry for Lomachenko.
Damn.
Yes, I do.
Damn.
I feel Fimo has more power than Lomachenko.
Definitely.
The quickness, he's more alert, this and that. I got Fimo winning that fight if it ever happens.
Okay. Well, one takeaway I had from his fight last night, I liked how he was setting up the way he set up the punch to the body.
That was
the straight right to the liver. You know, and you don't see a lot of fighters throw a straight right to the liver with that kind of conviction. So we saw Teofimo Lopez going to the body like that. You know, I thought that was really good stuff.
And Lomachenko could say, oh yeah, he fought a prospect. He's a prophet. He just fought this guy. This guy was 31-2. 31-2. And I'm a firm believer that experience overcomes youth or whatever the case may be. But in this case, it didn't show. You know why? Because Teo Lopez, his motivation is Lomachenko. And he's hungry to get at him. And if Lomachenko don't grab his ball, somebody else will grab it for him and rip him out of his mouth. And that's going to be Lopez.
Christian Lewis makes a great point. He says, too many Lomosexuals blocking the fight. Teofimo is coming to fight, not to pick up a check. Exactly. The reason this fight's not happening is because you got the idiot Lomachenko fans who are saying he doesn't have a belt. He hasn't fought
Well-
nobody. Well, like.
And it's so true. You said, I'm sorry, PT. I just want to say, if I forget the point. Female said in the interview, he says, thanks to Mayweather, boxing has changed a lot. Back in the day, it wasn't about the money or how many belts you had to make the money. It's about getting in the ring with whoever and beat his ass.
There you go. LR Checker says Mariaga was a replacement for a Salido rematch. With Rigondeaux, everyone was calling him a coward if he didn't take the fight. Rigo was also a pound for pound fighter. Loma didn't want to fight those guys. Please stop. Okay, now I'm gonna say it like this: when he fought Mariaga and Salido was a replacement, okay, fine, fair enough. But he's not sitting there saying it. He's not sitting there saying it was a joke for Mariaga to come up all the weight class to fight him. But it's a joke for a guy who was a top U.S. amateur, has been knocking out everybody left, right, and center. They put her in front of him and looking sensational doing it. But he has the confidence to beat you, and you're saying that's a joke? Okay, fair play, whatever. But the Rigondeaux thing is funny because everybody always makes that claim. Like my boy Alex, who's Ukrainian and swears by Lomachenko like he's Jesus Christ himself, loves Lomachenko. Happy Easter, by the way. He says that basically, Rigondeaux was this pound for pound great fighter. And look, Rigondeaux, amateur-wise, good fighter. But Rigondeaux had a quality win in so long before he fought Lomachenko. Like, it had been years since he beat Nonera. It had been years. I wasn't clamoring for that fight. I think I might have been the only channel on YouTube saying, yo, I am not excited for Rigondeaux Lomachenko because it's pointless. Like, he's gonna outclass Rigondeaux. And it's not even a fight that's gonna sell that well. I mean, it did because he had the small room. But I'm just saying, like Lomachenko has had fights in his career that I can sit here if I want to be a dickhead. I can sit here and I can say that they were joke fights. I can sit here and say that if I want to be a dickhead about it. Roman Martinez was this great fighter? Roman Martinez. Yeah, he's respectable, but I would venture to say that the Roman Martinez that Lomachenko fought, that he's knocked out unconscious in the 5th round. TV Lopez right now, the guy who just fought at his Tatley is better than that Roman Martinez.
And like I said, I'm a firm believer that if you believe so much in your skills, and you're as good as you are, it doesn't matter who you fight in that ring, without making stipulations. Then you told me that you said a few weeks ago about 2 pounds less or something. You told me something about he made.
Oh no, he was talking about how he can't go up anymore and weight, and he can't fight at a catch weight because it's so hard for him and. Yeah, it's Lomachenko. We can't ask too much from Lomachenko, the greatest amateur of all time, to go up a pound or two more and make a great fight at a catchweight with somebody. That's the one thing I'm gonna say, other than like fighting Lopez or anything like that, or going undisputed. The one thing I would say, Lomachenko wanted to get back my good grades. If he said, you know what, Bob, I'm just too good for these guys at 135. These guys can't fuck with me at 135. I want to go up. Can we do a catch weight? Can we do a catch weight at 138, 137 on Jose Ramirez? I think I could beat that guy. He can't fuck with me. If he said that...
Has he done that?
No. If he said that...
Oh, wow.
I would say, wow, Lomachenko, look at him. I was wrong, Lomachenko.
Yeah.
She's showing the world, showing me that he really wants... He's really about that pound life. But he ain't about that pound life. He gets yap in his mouth.
There's one comment there that somebody was talking about Rigondeaux and Teofimo. You can't compare both of them. Sorry to tell you. You just can't compare both fighters. Don't even go there with that.
Rigondeaux is a one-handed fighter. Rigondeaux is a midget Adonis Stevenson. Yeah. The guy's a one-handed fighter. He's a fantastic one-handed fighter. But I'm saying when you put a guy in front of Lomachenko that can move and can box, the way he can move and box, it just wasn't a competitive fight. And then if you see the problem with y'all who talk about Rigondeaux, like y'all know his career. He was struggling with Cordoba when he fought Cordoba. My man Orlando Cuellar trained Francisco Cordoba. He didn't look all that good in that fight. He fought Adrian Francisco. Didn't look so good in that fight. Why? Because Rigondeaux, for the majority of his career, he's a hard puncher at his natural weight class, but he's an Adonis Stevenson type of fighter, a southpaw with one punch knockout power that just looks to set up the left hand all day. And if you're a volume guy who can move, you have a chance to beat him. It's that simple.
And let's not get it twisted. I have more respect. Hear me right. I got more respect for Rigondeaux than I do Lomachenko. And I'm going to tell you why. Rigondeaux came up 2 weight classes to fight Lomachenko. Lomachenko was running away from people that are calling him out. I don't respect that.
I mean, and it's funny because Lomachenko might be the only fighter in boxing. When I hear his fans talk about him, it's like, oh yeah, well he doesn't want to fight him because he's not going to get any credit if he wins. But all of a sudden, like boxers say they don't care.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
Like boxers say they don't care about what fans say and criticisms, but then they let it influence their decisions on who they're gonna fight.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
My dad.
Yeah, all you Lomachenko, I'm sorry to say it this way, forgive me, all you dick riders, I respect, and you're not listening to me, hear right, I respect Lomachenko. He's the best skilled boxer in boxing today. But I do not respect when you're making excuses about the money, about this, about that, when somebody's calling you out. You grab your balls, you grab your confidence within your boxing ability, and you get in the ring and you prove everybody else wrong. And that's what I don't respect about him.
Oh, you're comparing the fan base as well. I mean, listen.
What?
Rigondeaux, let's have one thing straight about Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux didn't have a fan base, okay? That's why Rigondeaux couldn't sell tickets. That's why Rigondeaux was never a draw, and that's why Rigondeaux, once he lost, his fans disappeared. Tibio Lopez is different. He's a young fighter. He's an American fighter. He's got quite a fan base here in South Florida. If you don't know, he has a growing fan base because of his knockout power. He has that wow factor. He's been fighting on top rank cards and having sensational performances.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different, but I see what you're saying.
I mean, I just don't. And my son told me, don't get it twisted. Back in your day, there was a lot of fighters. I also ducked a lot of fighters, and he was telling me even about the great Leonard, right? He told me he ducked other fighters and this and that. And who knows, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and who else? When I grew up,
No, Marvelous Marvin.
no, I'm not just saying. I'm just saying in general. I don't know. I'm just generalizing. But what I'm getting at is right now, if somebody's gonna call me out in the schoolyard, I don't care how big you are, I'm gonna chop you down to let you know what time it is. And right now, everybody loves Lomachenko and say he's the number one P4P. And you know what? I disagree with you. You know who the number one P4P is from his country mate? Usyk. You know why? Because you don't hear Usyk making excuses. That's why.
He couldn't. He was in the tournament.
No, I'm saying Usyk in the tournament and after the tournament when he took over the cruiserweight division, when he beat Bellew, when he's coming to the heavyweight after on the press conference, he came out and said, "I'm coming to get whoever I gotta get. I'm not afraid of nobody. I'm making no excuses." But you're not getting that from Lomachenko, but you want to say he's P4P when he don't want to step up with the best, or who he thinks he's not the best because he don't have a belt? Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I'm just getting upset about that.
LR Chica, to answer your question, he said, so should Loma fight whoever is calling him out? It makes no sense. He should chase champions. If Lopez is a champion, and he will chase him. Okay, no, I want to answer that. So, Lopez is ranked top 5 in every boxing. Oh, snap.
Thank you.
Sub Wolf, what's up, champ? Thank you.
you.
I'm going to get to you in a minute. Tibio Lopez is ranked top 5 in every single boxing sanctioning body known to man. It's more than likely he'll be number 1 or number 2 once they update it after the Tatley win. So with that being said, it's not like he's some bum, some unranked bum that's calling you out. Then he's also signed to the same promoter as you, and you know it's an easy fight to make. And the thing is, you're talking about champions, right? You're talking about champions. Well, Garcia, we don't know what he's gonna do, and he's not gonna fight Lomachenko even if he does come back. Comey pulled out. Lomachenko has the 2 other belts. So what other champions are there for the fight? Once you get beyond the champions, the only 2 names that are worth talking about are Lopez and Luke Campbell. That's it. That's it as far as non-champions in that weight class.
Like I said, we can sit here all day and argue this point, but actions speak louder than words. And female come out and say, I've been calling everybody. Nobody's calling me. Lomachenko's making excuses. Oh, now all of a sudden he wants to fight. Now all of a sudden he wants to fight Mikey Garcia. How long has Marcus been around before the big fight?
Yeah. And what's funny is Lomachenko fans will say, oh, well, he's chasing champions. Well, oh, really? So Gervonta Davis is a champion at 135? Really? Last time I checked, Gervonta Davis was a paper champion at 130.
Yeah.
At 130. Who's in the witness protection program for boxing.
Listen, I understand what you're telling me about Lomachenko. I understand what you're saying about him fighting somebody with a belt and this and that. But when you got a prospect, his last 6 fights, right? 6 fights? Mm-hmm. Has finished off the opponents before the actual rounds.
And they've been gradually moving them up levels.
Yeah, moving up there.
And it's weird. Getting out of there in like 6 rounds or
and
less.
he's come out.
Most of the time.
And I'm going to say it again. Timo is better than Lomachenko. Power. he will take care of Lomachenko. And quickness, he's there. He's got a full confidence, and he believes in his ability, something that Lomachenko doesn't do.
Damn. Okay. What do you guys make of Dillian White? I'll let you answer that first.
Dillian White just keeps talking back and forth, and it's
You
all
don't like him because he keeps talking
and it's
about
all about the
royalties.
money. You know, it's all about the money. He just came out saying a few days ago that he will be willing to step up and fight Joshua if the money was right. Motherfucker, you want a legacy? Get in the ring with Joshua and get them 3 belts he got, or whatever it is. You ain't even doing that.
Well, he probably feels like he's been frozen out of so many title shots for so long that if he's gonna risk that position, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to justify because it's all in belts. It's a big fight for British boxing.
I think at the end of the day, money's important. We need the money to live. We need money talks, BS walk. We know the saying about that. But if you want to be undisputed and get the belts, you're gonna have to go through Joshua, and it will be a crime shame. It will be a crime shame if Usyk comes to the heavyweight division and he fights Joshua before you, Dillian White.
Damn. Okay. Well, about Dillian White, first of all, I like Dillian White.
I'm not hitting him.
I class he's definitely a top 5 heavyweight for sure. I would say that his left hook is the second most dangerous punch in the entire division behind Wilder's straight right hand. He's a fun fighter to watch. He comes to fight. I've been telling my dad for about a year now. If Louis Ortiz ever had the balls to fight him, he's getting put into retirement.
He's going to the coffin?
Going around the coffin. But I'll tell you this though, he's in a very dangerous position for Dillian White because yes, he is a top 5 heavyweight. Yes, he is very good, but he's in a tough fight. I think it's made a big fight for him now against Oscar Rivas. He's fighting a tough Colombian Oscar Rivas who just came up that big win against Ryan Jennings.
Yeah.
That is by no stretch of the imagination is that a walk in the park.
Is he a quiet cat too? He's like real quiet. You don't hear much about him, right?
Yeah, I'm not even sure he can speak English. But I like Dillian White.
What did they say about him?
But I wanted to say, shout out to my main man, Sub Wolfer, for the $10 super chat.
Thank you, guys.
All right, I really appreciate that. Honestly, I'm just happy that people value what we're putting out here to do that. So,
And at the end of the day, we're just talking boxing.
and you know what? Hey, I'll make this request to everybody. Okay, there's 24 of you in here right now. All right, if you have any special video requests, if you super chat me right now, and you let me know. Like, let me know right now what videos you'd like to see in the future. I will make them if you super chat me right now. There you go.
There you go. Whatever you want to see, DT's talking. You know. So yeah. So that's my take on Dillian White. I hope he gets the big fights he wants to get. But I mean, I understand he's angry at Eddie Hearns because Eddie Hearns didn't slate him with money wise, or he didn't pay him what he wanted. He expected for some fights, and he paid somebody else more than what he did or whatever. I understand all that. But are you really worrying about how much money you have in your pocket, or are you worrying about your legacy about being undisputed? Which one do you want? You know? And that's how I see that. Loma, somebody said something about Loma. I forgot. Somebody made a comment about Loma not too long ago. I forgot what they said.
Lomachenko, they say that Lomachenko wants to go undisputed, like Usyk.
That's fine. You can do that. But when you got somebody calling you out, prospects calling you out, and you're telling me this and that, and blah, 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 I don't like excuses. I don't. I'm sorry to say, I don't like that.
Elon Checker brings up a good point. I remember watching that interview when he said that. Dillian White, he's saying that Dillian White ducked Alexander Usyk. He said Usyk was nobody and nobody cares about him, and nobody knows who he is in the UK. When he gets KO value on a big pay-per-view, sounds like ducking to me. That's what he said.
You're right. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to answer Usyk. He's coming. He's coming. And don't get it twisted. My son was telling me that Usyk got a tough fight with Takum. It's not gonna be a walk in the park either.
Absolutely not.
So it's gonna be a 2 test for him too. But yeah, and it's gonna take a while for him to get used to the heavyweight division, the new weight or whatever. But I think skill-wise, he's just like Lomachenko. He's come from a pedigree where they teach him the skills and how to use them and everything. But he's not making excuses. And I, all due respect to Lomachenko, he wants to be undisputed. That's fine. All I'm saying is, don't sit here and tell me that you don't want to fight somebody because he's just a prospect. That's disrespectful. It's the same way you disrespected Manny Pacquiao, and that really pissed me off.
Damn. They said that
Lomachenko, your legacy will never come close to Manny Pacquiao.
He said, you guys are going to be surprised when Lomachenko beats Lopez for the title. Just don't make the excuse, please. Lopez is underestimating little early. Well, he has to hike up his skirt and fight him first, so we'll have to get to that point.
And here in True School Sports, we call it the way we see it. So if that's what you're saying is right and that happens, so be it. And I'll give you a devil, and I'll say I was wrong. But when somebody calls me out, and supposedly he's a prospect and he's an easy fight, and I don't have time for him because he doesn't have a belt, then you need to prove to everybody else. So everybody wants that fight. What are you talking about? So until then, I'm not. If he wins, fine. I'm not hating on that. I've been telling you as I've been talking that Lomachenko is the best. You hear me? The best skilled boxer in boxing today. Why don't you use those skills, get in the ring, and prove your opponent wrong? Doesn't matter where he comes from, because remember, Lomachenko, you came from somewhere too,
Man.
from the bottom on to the top.
I'll be honest, man. I remember when Roman Gonzalez was the pound king of boxing. I wish fans gave him as much leniency as they give Lomachenko. Roman Gonzalez would do shit Lomachenko has never even tried in his career, and they would criticize him to death. Like when he went up and he fought Carlos Cuadras, the #1 undefeated guy in the division with no tune-ups.
Yeah.
He had a tough fight with him, got lumped up a little bit,
Yeah.
but still won the fight. They said, oh, he's clearing out guys, destroying them. They were boxing fans were never as lenient with Roman Gonzalez as they are Lomachenko. Y'all be let Lomachenko get away with murder.
I just don't. I mean, like I told you, I'm not hating on Lomachenko because I'm telling you that he is. I'm telling you right to your face, and I give him respect for that. He is the best skilled boxer in boxing. But when you disrespect, and I feel he disrespected Manny Pacquiao, coming out and saying what he said about Manny Pacquiao, that's an excuse to me. Let Manny Pacquiao make that decision, not you.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah. You worry about yourself. You worry about your career. You worry about making your decisions. But don't sit here that, and now you got a prospect that's even lesser than Manny Pacquiao, and you're still saying some BS. That's what I don't like.
So I'll make you quit 6 rounds. Just make sure you get a ranking position or a belt.
Oh, what he said about Chocolate? Somebody said about Chocolate.
We'll see.
Yeah, so I mean, I love talking boxing all day. We can talk all day, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, this and that. It's just this is how I feel. And you guys got your opinion. I respect your opinions, but this is why I'm telling you why I feel about Lomachenko and why I've changed my point of view of him. You know, I mean, he didn't want to fight 8 division champion like Manny Pacquiao because he's too old. But now he's got a prospect that is supposedly a nobody, and he still don't want to fight him. There's a reason why.
Now you're right. It has a lot to do with his division, Roman Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I mean, y'all might not think so, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Roman Gonzalez, if he gets about 1 or 2 more big wins before his career's over, he's my fighter of the decade. F the year, F pound the decade.
Tú puedes decir chocolatito. Can you say chocolate? Because that's what he's talking about. You're right about what you're saying. Maybe you're right what you're saying. Team female's not ready for Lomachenko. Blah 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 blah. He's going to bring him up. Okay, whatever the case may be. But down the road, you need to make that fight because if you're not, the takeover's coming for you, Lomachenko. That's all I'm saying.
And to be fair, we'll see how T-Female looks in his next fight.
Yeah.
We would expect his next fight to be at least against Comey for the title.
Oh, that'd be a great fight.
Or for the vacant belt against someone, the vacant WBC belt. So.
And to be fair, yeah, okay. What are you Lomachenko fans are gonna say if and when Comey does decide to fight? Listen to this now. Decides to fight this prospect that Lomachenko don't want to fight.
They're gonna say that.
And then Lomachenko, and then the prospect beats Comey. I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm just saying.
Well, they're gonna say.
And then Lomachenko did this and that. What do you guys feel about that?
They're gonna say that's how good Lomachenko is. Comey ducked Lomachenko, pulled out of a fight, and then he fought the prospect and then lost.
Okay, but then now the Comey, let's just as all hypothetical. Let's say let's
Hold up, I'm cutting you up.
Oh,
Prince, this is Cordova. You got the game fucked up. He didn't lose to Estrada. Are you serious? Roman Gonzalez didn't lose. I hate when people like you come over here and y'all try to talk shit about my boy Chocolatito and you say, oh, well, he lost to one, he lost to Guy Estrada. Guy Estrada couldn't even back the man up. Guy Estrada was sitting there doing all that bullshit, counter punching. He wasn't as good as he was back then as he is now. And Roman Gonzalez had to give him an education on how to fight at the top level of boxing. And look, he fought Roman Gonzalez and he became a dominant champion after that. Became a unified champion. beat Brian Valoria, Giovanni Segura, defended the belt multiple times, beat Carlos Cuadras, has carved out a very good career for himself. I believe myself that he is the most skilled Mexican fighter in the world today, and that includes Canelo. So, yeah, if he didn't fight Roman Gonzalez, he wouldn't have become as good as he is now. But no, Roman Gonzalez beat Estrada. Estrada couldn't back the man up. Estrada was getting bullied by the smaller Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. And that's what Roman Gonzalez does, because, you know, he's like the Mexican killer, Roman Gonzalez.
Right.
He be killing all the Mexican fighters. He fought Gallo. What, Gallo?
Yeah, Gallo.
He fought Gallo.
The Rooster.
Beat him.
Yeah.
Fought El Príncipe Cuadras.
And
Beat him.
Oh!
He was taller. He was taller than him. He was on PEDs. He had pimples all over his back.
Yeah.
Well, I was there ringside at the forum.
Wow.
HBO Boxing. This man had Cuadras on his bike running like Usain Bolt for the first 5 rounds. You got the game messed up, Francisco.
Yeah, I got that one. I got to start on that one. Bring it side. Yeah, I got that one.
Who you got, Pop, Spence, or Crawford?
Right now we just this video that we just made the politics of it, but honestly, I'm gonna take Crawford. I got the dog. I got people been discrediting Crawford a lot, but when it comes push comes to shove, guess what? Crawford's there, and I'm not discrediting Spence. He's a great fighter, but I just think
I'm
Crawford's
picking. Jesus Soto Cross. I'm joking with you. I was picking Terrence Crawford. I got Terrence Crawford. A lot of people are picking Estrada to beat Ramos in the rematch. Well, you know what?
He was good though. He looks stronger.
He should, because I think in the latter stages of the fight he began to figure out Ramos. He was counter punching him and whatnot.
Yeah, he's a guy.
But I don't know, man. We'll see. Just so you guys know, for the 20 of you that are here, we will be live for that fight on the 27th. So should be a fun one. We will also be live for, I think, Pro Race 26.
Yeah, is it 26 or whatever? Yeah, I don't know.
We'll be live for Pro Race Relic as well. So.
Come on now. Pacquiao wants to fight Lomachenko. Isn't that young enough? What are you talking about?
Rambasai is declining. I mean, you could be right. We don't know.
I mean, everybody sometimes declines.
I think Estrada began to figure him out towards the end of that fight.
I think Estrada's going to come in and
Listen, I want Estrada to win, because look, if Estrada wins, it makes Roman Gonzalez's resume look like fire. So
Yeah.
I want Estrada to win.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. That's why I'm going for him. I'm not saying because I can't beat him, but he'll be beat him once already. So yeah.
So we got a couple of people in here who say that what's his name? Cheryl Spence is gonna bash up Terrence Crawford.
I'm gonna say it again. Everybody's been discrediting Crawford. He was undisputed in 140 before he came to 147. Took all the belts. I mean, Crawford's got the dog in him. Don't get it twisted. I mean, Andy Spence came out and said he's not afraid of no Nigger from Nebraska. But guess what? You better get ready, because Crawford's not backing down.
To answer your question, LR Chica, I didn't see that fight, but I heard about it when Rambasai fought Iran Diaz.
Oh, I see that.
I didn't see, but I heard a lot about it. I heard Diaz kept coming. He was tough. He was durable, and that's what it was. Yeah, Rambasai is a freaking mule at the weight. The guy is got ridiculous calves. You know, the fact that Roman Gonzalez, y'all want to hate on my girl. Roman's not getting the credit he deserves.
It's crazy because not even now here on live talking about. Anytime we talk about Roman, we never get no positive feedback. He done the what? The lightweights?
He was a champion at 108, 105, 108,
Yeah,
112,
so
115.
it's crazy.
He's in championship fights, fighting the top guys, stopping them, with the exception of the Quadras fight.
That's right. I agree with that. The comment about Crawford.
Hold on, are you talking about Roman Gonzalez fight when he fought the first time? I ain't trying to hear all that. He said Estrada had 2 injuries that he got in training camp. Listen, bro, training camp, sparring, putting on weight, taking it off. No fighter is 100%. Look, a good friend of mine, I know he lost last night, and I'm borderline depressed about it, just thinking about it. Adrian Gonzalez, we got beat the hell out by Danny Garcia last night. I was talking to Adrian during the training camp. He was telling me, BT, I'm sick. I got all this stuff going on. But you know what? That's part of the fight game. You got sparring, you got weight cuts, all this stuff. Yo, you keep saying that LR Trigger about how
What he say?
Ron besides breaking up with his girlfriend had an effect on him.
What's that guy do? He getting in the ring fighting.
No, what?
I
went through that last year.
What? I know what you're saying.
I know exactly what that's like. So
Well, just tell me.
My heart is with him.
Hey,
I went
just
through
tell
that
me
last
this.
year.
Was she hot? Was she a knockout?
I just find it
joking.
crazy how
Yeah.
a guy who eats rats, because you know in Thailand they like eat
Yeah,
rats.
yeah,
and
they're
stuff.
crazy.
This guy eats rats, but then you're telling me he's getting sad because him and a girl parted ways.
I don't think.
I don't eat rats.
I think he missed a good meal with a rat and it ran away from him, so he's upset about that.
No. Estrada did not out. But listen, I'm gonna rewatch that fight because now you're pissing me off saying that Estrada beat Roman Gonzalez. People there's people that try to discredit his career and say, yeah.
I just want to know what is the reason behind people always, and I'm not saying just now, always discrediting Chocolatito when a lot of people talk about him and say that he was one of the top fighters in his time before he lost to Rangasai.
That boy making excuses.
So I mean,
Estrada was just too weak.
Tell
Couldn't
me
back him
why
up.
people give me a definite reason to shut my mouth or why the argument is you can win the argument that Chocolatito was not as good as people make him seem out to be. Give me one, because at the end of the day, the facts and the numbers and the record speak for itself.
That's it. I mean, the guy is a first ballot, grade A, punch your ticket, make your reservations, Hall of Famer.
You said again?
A living legend in the sport of boxing.
Yeah. And
The Michael Carbajal of this era.
And you interviewed him, right? A couple times or one
Once.
time? Yeah. So I mean,
That was a whatever interview because, you know, there was a language barrier. And,
Yeah.
You know, he was kind of in a rush, but it was still cool.
yeah,
It was still
it's
cool to meet
good to
Roman.
meet one of your famous idols that you love so
I
much.
wouldn't
And
call-
he dominated.
Not an idol. I'm going to call him out.
Okay.
He's a fighter I'm a fan of.
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
gonna call him an idol.
Alright.
Nobody's an idol.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay. Oh, he says defense.
His defense, well, I mean, what?
Yeah.
He didn't get knocked down for what, like 10 years? See, people say, "Oh, I don't like his defense." Well, guess what? When you throw 7, 8, 9 punch combinations, you're gonna get hit.
And then
You're gonna get hit.
Didn't he lose his trainer or something? And he had to switch trainers. And
Yeah, his trainer died. His trainer that he's been with his whole life died a month or two after the Quadras fight.
Wow. So I mean, I think that has an effect on anybody.
Yeah, but what people overlook about the first Roman Gonzalez fight is he got knocked down early in the fight, but people forget that Roman Gonzalez got up and he was literally like maybe a punch or two away from stopping Roman Gonzalez.
Wow. What saved him?
He had Roman Gonzalez hurt. No. He had Roman Gonzalez hurt out on his feet. He just couldn't finish him.
Wow.
But he literally got up and was tagging his ass left, right, and center.
Yeah, I just don't know why people hate on him. Like all the time you hear about it. But you got people that know boxing.
I'm just pissed that we didn't get to see him versus Nayo the Monster Inoue, the guy. But we could have seen him when Roman was in his prime, but Inoue ducked him and jumped. You know that, right? You know
Yeah,
that.
you told me
know
about that.
Inoue
You were
ducked the
excited
shit
about
out
that
of-
fight. You were excited about that fight.
No. But this is before it was talked about for HBO.
Oh,
This
wow.
Before he even got to America, Inoue ducked him when Inoue was young. Was young. Inoue
wow.
literally was at 108, right? He was at 108. He jumped up 2 weight classes. He jumped up above Roman Gonzalez weight class to
Wow.
avoid fighting him to fight an older fighter who had a belt.
So Brandon, what about now? If they will fight, who?
Oh, now no.
Inoue would destroy him.
Inoue would piece Roman up left, right, and
Are
center.
they like age-wise? Are they more?
Yeah, everyone's been in a lot of wars. The timing for it would be horrible now.
Wow.
But if they would have fought like
I remember you telling me about that. You were pissed off when you called me. You told me like you're not gonna believe this, Dad.
what?
Inoue ducking Chocolatito.
I never said that.
Like you told me one time, yeah, you told me that we were talking about it. You was like, yeah, Chocolatito wants to fight him, and Inoue don't want to fight him. You know?
I think I was on Rama's side.
Okay, Mama, sorry, I'm sorry. I might,
Because you say, oh, he couldn't the weight no more.
something was some excuse, yeah.
Do you think Miller would have got a slap on the wrist if he was promoted by Golden Boy Promotions?
I don't know. People keep talking about Golden Boy being behind all this craziness.
I love Golden Boy Promotions. I'm joking.
I mean, but at the end of the day, this is how I see the situation. If I'm making it wrong, if I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something wrong. And let's not get it twisted. Jerome Mill, Big Baby, knew what he was doing 3 times. He got busted. So, no. I think he deserves what he's going to get. Man up to it and move on. That's it. He knew what he was doing, because if he was really honest to himself and to the boxing world, he wouldn't even agreed to this fight in the beginning, because he knew he was already chinning.
Who has the best chin in boxing at the moment? Canelo, GGG, or Danny Garcia? Honestly, I'm gonna go with Danny Garcia. I'm gonna go with Danny Garcia. Thurman caught his ass with some crazy stuff.
That was good, but
Matisse as well.
But in this case, I'm gonna take. I'm thinking back of the GG and Canelo fight. There was a couple of good shots after they both
Triple
took
G
back
probably.
and Canelo held his own. So I'm gonna be surprised or not, I'm gonna give Canelo credit.
Gonzalo, oh my God, bro, Francisco, I love you, bro, because you come into these. I've seen your name many times throughout the years. You always supported me and stuff. But if you don't stop with this Gallo Estrada beat Roman stuff, we're gonna have some problems, man. Gallo Estrada did not beat Roman Gonzalez, okay? And now you're sitting here and you're making excuses for him for the first Roman stuff. Like, oh, he had injuries, he had this. It's boxing, bro. They all have injuries. It's training camp. You ever been in the gym? I mean, I'm sure maybe you have. Maybe you ever been in the gym and done some sparring? Do it. Do 6 rounds of sparring.
Put this up excuses, Brendan. This is saying I forgot what it says.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Anyways.
Is this guy family of Estrada something? His nephew? I don't know, man. I mean, and I'm an Estrada fan too. Estrada's probably my second favorite fighter around that weight, like, cause of his fight with Roman and whatnot. Bro, Estrada couldn't back Roman Gonzalez up. Like, Roman Gonzalez was a smaller guy, holding his ground, digging to the body, beating that boy like he stole something, letting him know that, hey, young buck, you ain't ready for this. Yo, I'm just gonna ask, because maybe Gallo Estrada's using Google Translator. Gallo, is that you? You watch Two School Sports, bro?
Rooster, the Rooster.
My favorite Mexican fighter out right now.
Rooster Estrada, El Gallo.
But 7:48.
Yeah, but somebody said I gotta go. But somebody said about Montessori. Is he getting good, Brandon? One of the comments there say.
I've heard about him. I don't know much about him. Montessori, he's the GOAT in Thailand. Shout out to Thailand.
But I mean, I've heard a lot of fighters from their own country that it goes and then they come to the U.S. and they fold. I'm not discrediting you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
But anyway, he's gotta go. So
yeah. So great time talking.
I'm getting tired. Listen, I will see you guys. There'll be some more content out tomorrow. And please make sure to go check out. I just dropped an interview with Trevor the Dream Bryant. Okay. WBA #1 heavyweight contender, training here in South Florida. He wants the Joshua fight. Not all Americans are duckers and cheaters. He's campaigning for it. And yeah, so go check that out. I'm gonna answer one more question. Someone said, how did you score Kimura versus Kosti Tanaka? I remember my exact score, but I thought I had Tanaka winning that fight. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. It's been good talking to you.
Thank you
Make
so
sure
much.
you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff.
Love talking boxing.
And yeah, we'll see you guys, like I said, every single one of these videos. You can